Okay, so I'm in downtown Memphis. And before we get too far into this, Memphis was recently ranked the number 11th most dangerous city in the world by Numio. It's the highest ranked U.S. city on the list, although there's quite a few other cities on the list, but it's ranked the 11th worst in the world. And Tennessee is the 5th most dangerous state in America. We're starting off, we've been in just a couple blocks, and we already got a building that clearly looks like it needs some repair. But this is a city with a population of 611,000, and the population has been declining since 2012, when it peaked at 659,000. So it hasn't really lost that much. They've lost about 40,000 people in the last, 12 years. It's 63% black, 23% white, 8% Hispanic, and like most dangerous cities, Asian people are too smart to live here. Their population is 1%. Average age is 34.5, which is a little on the low side. 18% seniors, which is also a little on the low side for a city. Usually it's 20% or even higher than that. 52% of the population is female and 48% of the population is male. And for whatever reason, a lot of the bad cities have far more females than they have males. And in this city, you could actually account that for the homicides are taking more of the men out than they're taking the women out. The average earnings here is $38,000, which is actually pretty good for a city with the crime that they have here. That's actually not too bad. 23.6% of the people that live here live in poverty. And so like 1 out of every 4 people that live here live in poverty. Let's go around. I think we passed. Okay, so we're looking at some of this is homeless. Here, they got their stuff set up here. Just around this block, we'll pull around. There was some more homeless on this block back here. There were some more homeless on this block right here. Is that a one-way? No. Then we'll go down this one. I saw homeless people when I looked. Oh, it's the first. It's a church. That's probably why there's homeless people at it. But there's 23.6% poverty rate, and the marriage rate is only 31%, which is really on the low side. The U.S. average is somewhere around 50. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's somewhere in around the 50% of the people, of the adults, are married. We got garbage all over the streets. We got garbage all over here, but when you got a bunch of homeless people, that's gonna come with the territory. I'm gonna try and drive a little bit out of town as well. Well, we got cops. This must be a police station, because there's a bunch of cops right there. He's got his lights going. This guy just pulling over. So 66% of the people that live here were born here, which that's not more people. You got one guy laying back there on the pavement in I don't know if I caught him. He's laying back there on the pavement, huddled under a sleeping bag. Oh, there's a building up there, another one that looks abandoned that will go by. But I think it was 2022 data that showed the census of the city, and it showed they had 4% non-citizens here, and I'm sure that number is much higher now, just with the way things are at the border and stuff. So those numbers, even on a good time, I question that number, but they list it, so there's not a whole lot of non-citizens living here, let's just say it that way, compared to a lot of the bigger cities. Now for the homicides. 2021, they set a record with 346 homicides. By mid-November of 2023, they had already passed that. And by the end of 2023, they had 397 homicides. So they not only beat the record, they beat it by over 50 homicides. And what's this? Maybe we'll go past this, up that road, so you can't go down that road. Oh, you can. We'll go past this bond company. This building, it almost looks abandoned, and you got this bond company. Unless he just painted that on the side of the building to get, oh my gosh, what's going on up there? We're gonna drive by that. There's, I don't know, this building, you got a bond company, but the building is destroyed, so he probably paid somebody to put his phone number on the side of the building. So when they set the record last year, with the 397, that gave the city a murder rate of 65.1, which is, that's, again, anything that gets up, anything that even gets out of the 30s, that gets in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s are super high. You know, the 70s and 80s are ridiculously high. And so that 65.1 murder rate is really high. And their assault rates here, it doesn't get any better with their assault rates. I don't know if this is a road we should be driving on. Trying to not get, the city is actually legitimately bad. And we're still just pretty much in the downtown, but just outside the downtown. Like right on the edge of it. And I don't know if we're in danger territory here or not. But we're going to drive up a couple more of these blocks so we can kind of see what some of the houses look like. But the assault rate here, since 2020, I wanted to go past that. Well, there's a bunch of people hanging out in there. There was something we saw up the street that I want to get back to. Oh, this must be where... I think all those people are homeless in here. They're all homeless in through here. Yeah, there's more moving into this park right now as must be moving day. It's Saturday, it's moving day. So the assault rate here are of the highest in the country as well. Since 2020, it's been in the 1900s. Per 100,000 people. And Detroit is in the 1600s. Chicago is in the 500s. So that tells you just how bad 1900% is, or 1900 per 100,000 people is really, really bad. We'll go up here. I'm just kind of randomly driving. We're kind of right on the edge of the downtown. I think we're going to start heading south out of here a little bit. But the violent crime here as a city, not just one neighborhood, the violent crime as a city is 555% worse than the national average. In a lot of cities, that's a dead end. I'm going to make a U-turn here though. A lot of cities, that would be one bad neighborhood would be 555%. To have a whole city have that bad of a violent crime percent is really bad. And if you think of Chicago, Chicago's like over 100, but it's not. Chicago's maybe 150 or something like that. So if you want to compare to Chicago, this is really bad. That's that dead end again. And the property crime here as well is 267% worse than the national average. So a lot of times you'll get a city that's the property crime is really bad, but the violent crime isn't too bad. Or you'll get a city that the violent crime is really bad and the property crime is like next to nothing. This one's not giving you anything good of either. Both are bad. Your chance of becoming a victim of a crime here is 1 in 11, which is really high. There's some cities that, you know, are bad that are, you know, you might find 1 in 9 and 1 in 10 here and there, but for the most part, 1 in 11 is really bad. Across their train tracks, those streetcar tracks. And here's where things get interesting. The year-over-year crime, oh, I wish I could turn left on that, or right on that road. That looks, we'll go up a block and come back on that one, because there, oh no, that's not, it looked like there was a bunch of garbage. Maybe it's not. Their year-over-year crime increase was 24% increase. That is really bad. That's a city that doesn't care. More blown out buildings or blown out windows there. That's a city that really is not caring what's going on, because that's a huge increase. Yeah, those white things are what I saw. I thought those white things from a distance, it looked like a bunch of garbage, but they're actual things on the pavement. So the city is bad, has been bad, and clearly is not getting any better. And when you look at the school's test scores, 21% of the kids that graduate are proficient at reading and math. So 1 in 5. There's no chance that a city has to get better when only 1 out of every 5 of the kids that graduate can read and write or do math at grade level. A 0 chance that city has of becoming any better than what it is. The Tennessee average is also very low. As a state, there we got a bunch of graffiti on this building and on this wall here. Well, that's pretty much the first graffiti we've seen. Tennessee, 35%. So 1 out of every 3 students in the state of Tennessee graduate proficient at reading and math. And we all know that America is only 48%. So basically 1 out of every 2 in America as a whole graduate proficient. So our country is bad. The state of Tennessee is worse. And the city of Memphis is significantly worse. And there's really no hope for a city when you got too many people that can't read and do math. The cost of living here, though, is 14% lower than the national average, and the cost of housing is 30% lower. So you probably can buy a house here really cheap. Whether you want to live in it or not is another thing. That stuff's all busted up. However, if you're looking for a plus, if you're thinking about moving to Memphis, if you're looking for a plus side, there's no state income tax in Tennessee, which means you put more in your pocket of your paycheck. I'm going to see if we can get a little out of the town so we can see some of the houses. But the roads actually, I don't know if it's because of the weather here. These roads are really good. They're not all beat up at all. A little bit, but hardly at all. And I don't know if it's because of the weather here that it just doesn't make the roads as bad as some other areas that get a lot colder in the winter. And crack the pavement, either that or whoever put them in actually did a really good job putting it in. But the roads are actually pretty good. More so than most cities are. Especially for a bad city like this, the roads are really good, actually. We're going to try and get a little south out of here and see if we can get into some neighborhoods. Is that this? Oh, here we go. More garbage. It's not ridiculously bad as far as, I mean, there's a lot of garbage. And there were a bunch of homeless people. And there was a lot of graffiti. There's a lot of people just hanging out. I don't know. I should probably turn down here. I don't know if that gets me up. Oh, here we go. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. If you've been following my channel for a while, you may have seen the video I did about the 10 ways not to get yourself murdered. And one of the top ways to not get murdered is to stay off of any road, stay away from any building, or anything named after Martin Luther Jr. King, because these are typically not in good neighborhoods. And there's typically a lot of homicides and a lot of violent crime that happened in around this area, or in around roads and streets and buildings and stuff that are named after him. For whatever reason. Check out some of these neighborhoods. This actually looks pretty nice. These houses look pretty nice. This is just south of downtown. What did I turn on to? Oh, here we go. Yeah. This area actually looks pretty nice. We're on Elvis Presley Boulevard. You can see the sign here, Elvis Presley Boulevard. And we're going to drive by Graceland. And this is in one of the not so great neighborhoods of Memphis. The Graceland mansion. GoPro keeps cutting out. So hopefully we can get through this video before it cuts out again. But we're going to just drive up here past the Graceland, check out where Elvis lived. Looks like they're doing a bunch of road construction on this road, which will make it interesting. And since we're in Memphis, I'm leaving myself an out in front of me, as I do in most of these dangerous cities. You don't get yourself trapped in any more than you need to. I don't know, do other people do that? You guys will have to leave in the comments if other people do that. If you leave big gaps when you're in areas that are bad, so in case you have to like make a quick getaway, you leave a gap there. I lived in Los Angeles for a long time, and when I lived there, I always left a good cushion in front of me to make sure that if somebody pulls up behind me or in front of me and you know, you get yourself in a bad situation, that you can still get out of it if you need to. Got souvenirs.
Wait a minute.
Oh, there's his plane.
There it is.
And then there's Graceland Mansion. Okay, the GoPro's getting hot. It keeps cutting out, but here's Graceland Mansion. We're driving past it one more time. I don't know if you're going to really get a good view of it through all these trees and with the edge of the car blocking most of it. But that was Graceland Mansion. Okay, I'm going to cut this video right here because the GoPro keeps cutting out every like 3 seconds. So that was Memphis. Thanks for watching.